Back, gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Johnson is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act is a law that provides important immunity to manufacturers and sellers of firearms from being liable when people misuse their products. There have been numerous instances, whether intentional or unintentional, of Biden administration officials and anti-gun advocates, and even the president himself, mischaracterizing that immunity provision that's contained in the statute. And I think the public would benefit from our setting the record straight on the issue. So, Mr. Dettlebach, as the director of A.T.F., do you agree with President Biden that this law's broad immunity means blanket immunity, and that gun manufacturers are the only industry in America exempted from being sued by the public?
Again, I think the president has given numerous different times he's talked about this provision. Again, as A.T.F. director, what Congress passes is what we deal with, and we don't do civil litigation in that sense.
So
that's not under our.
If that's true, and you're going to do what Congress says, then obviously you don't agree with the president. I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but that's what that means.
I think the president has called on Congress to act, and what I'm saying is, as
just answer this question.
I take what comes
as you interpret the statute, I assume you're familiar with the statute.
I'm familiar with the statute, but A.T.F. doesn't do civil litigation liability in that sense. It's not.
Yes, sir, I know, but you're the director of A.T.F. You're familiar, for example, that vaccine manufacturers have some liability exemption for their COVID vaccines, right?
I actually am not familiar with vaccine law.
Well, okay, most Americans are. Big tech companies are exempt from liability due to Section 230. You have any familiarity with that?
I've obviously, as somebody who reads the news, I know about that.
The point is the president has grossly overstated what this statute does. And since you're not familiar with the statute, apparently, let me tell you that some of the exemptions, the limited exemptions, are negligence, knowingly selling to somebody who's not allowed to have a firearm, knowingly making false records, that kind of thing. It is not a blanket immunity, and we need you to be clear about that, because the president, intentionally or unintentionally, is misleading the public on it. Let me move to something else. The stabilizing brace rule, as finalized this year, is about set to go into effect in the 1st of June. There's been some discussion about it this morning, but I think most of the American people are not yet aware because the mainstream media is not covering this issue. But here's the facts. Due to A.T.F.'s unilateral and unconstitutional action, okay, if you own a stabilizing brace, you're required to register it with A.T.F., turn it in or destroy it by May 31st, or you're going to face criminal penalties. Mr. Dettlebach, as an attorney, I'm assuming you know what a reliance interest is, right? Familiar with the term?
I'm not sure I'm in agreement with your characterization of
Do you know the term reliance interest? I'm not playing games here.
I'm not trying to either. I'm trying to be respectful. I'm in disagreement with your summary of what the.
I haven't summarized it yet. I'm asking you if you know the term.
About what you said, I'm sorry. About
what is a reliance interest? You were a federal prosecutor. What's a reliance interest?
Well, we don't use it in federal prosecution, but from being a lawyer, reliance generally, I think from my days in contracts and as a civil litigator, refers to the idea that in contract law, when somebody relies to their detriment on certain kinds of matters, that they have some legal claims that they might not otherwise have.
Excellent. It's not just confined to contract law, but as a lawyer and knowing that definition, knowing the concept, I mean, does it concern you that for years, law-abiding Americans relied on the A.T.F.'s guidance in purchasing stabilizing braces, and now due to a regulation, not a law passed by Congress, but a regulation, millions of them are going to suddenly become felons?
First of all, the law doesn't either ban anything, nor does the rule apply to all stabilizing braces. The rule under the National Firearms Act helps define and clarify what the characteristics of a firearm that would be a short-barreled rifle.
With your clarification,
inconsistency.
Is it true or not that millions of Americans will be defined as felons after May 31 if they don't follow this new regulation? True or not?
I assume that people are going to either detach the weapons, follow the things.
If they don't follow the regulation, they'll be a felon, right? You're a former federal prosecutor.
Yeah, and I will tell you that that federal prosecutions do not happen with respect to law-abiding people who can't have a criminal intent established. That is not a priority.
Okay, here's the problem we have. Here's the problem we have. Okay, you ran for Ohio Attorney General in 2018. Your platform included gun control. We know where you stand, right? As recently as 10 minutes ago, Ms. Jackson-Lee, you couldn't answer or define what a so-called assault weapon is. You continue to not be able to do that or refuse to do it. It's clear that you came to A.T.F. with an agenda I believe, to infringe upon good law-abiding Americans' rights. And you're going to turn them into criminals with this regulation, and you seem to have no remorse about it. I'm out of time, and I yield back.
With respect to...
Hey, before you click on the next video, if y'all could do me a big favor and hit that like button. The algorithm loves it, and so do I, because it helps promote these videos and get the message out about what our government has been doing. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications, because every time I put out a video, you want to know about it, right? Thanks again, and have a good one. See you on the next one. Peace.